So how good is the most expensive e-rig? I've been testing out a ton of devices this year. It's actually a really solid year for flower devices and concentrate devices. A ton of stuff is coming out. There's still a ton of stuff coming out later this year. I'm going to be trying out tons of devices. I know we're going to update some of these tier lists, but I was very eager to see that Davinci dropped an e-rig. This is a company I've known about for a while. I think longer than I've been doing content. They've been making devices. So I saw they had a fancy looking e-rig with a touch screen on it. I saw that price and I was like, dang, bro, more than a Dr. Dabra Switch too? More than a Carta? More than a Peak Pro limited edition too? Bro, the most expensive e-rig? I was like, oh geez, are we about to unlock some crazy new hits? Well, I've been trying that out on my Twitch stream. I can't really do the sesh here. Bro, YouTube's for babies. I've been demonetized for years and they're deleting 420 channels left and right. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. I go live every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But I've been doing rips with this guy, testing it out, trying to see if I can get the most out of it. And I gotta say, this device is a little bit confusing. I've actually talked with the company a little bit back and forth, trying to understand the device a little bit better, and I'm still confused. So I do wanna say first and foremost that this guy does not give you bad hits. I'm not like getting glowies off this. I'm not getting the worst tasting hits I ever got, but I don't think that I'm getting good hits off of this. I'm not getting bad ones, but I'm not getting like great hits. Now, they said to me what a lot of other companies have said in the past, which makes me steer clear of their devices. But when they start talking about, oh, our device primarily focuses on flavor and not cloud production, it makes me go, oh, great, we got another one that doesn't hit, bro. And I was getting some decent hits on here, but I wasn't able to get those big hits. And for me, the more vapor I get, the more flavorful the hit is, because you got to have the vapor to taste it. A little wispy cloud of vapor isn't going to have as much flavor as a nice big old milky cloud of vapor for me. And I think there's a few issues with the design here. I got the device here. I think the tubes is weird with glass, but this looks like a fish tank. Hopefully they don't restrict it. But you can just see from this shiny little box they got here, it's got a funky little glass design. It's got a little mouthpiece here. So I'm gonna be careful showing the device because the tubes is weird, but I'll show you parts of it. So one thing I gotta say is, while it has a nice quartz chamber for your concentrate to go in to deliver delicious flavor, it only heats from the bottom, which in my opinion is like outdated. That's how some of the old school dab pens were doing it. They had a little coil on the bottom. And we learned that when we get a nice concentrate here with airflow, we're using a Terp Pearl, we're moving that concentrate around on a larger surface area to hit more of it at once. When you only heat from the bottom, especially in a smaller chamber like this guy has, it just can't hit as much of the oil at a time, so you just can't get that big hit, which is something they're familiar with. They know that it's not going to give you the big hit. But you would think that maybe the most expensive e-rig would give you one of the bigger hits. No. One thing I have to say is this device harshed my throat more than any device I've tested in years. I woke up wondering why my throat hurts, and the only thing that I did was try out a new device. Now, there's a couple other things that are working against your ability to take a good hit, in my opinion. This thing has some weird airflow. Like, without touching the carb cap or doing anything with it, with a regular amount of water, just pulling on it is slightly more restricted than you would like on an e-rig. And it actually gets worse. You see, this carb cap here is my new contender for the worst carb cap on any electronic device. You see right there, they put a hole in the top, which is so weird because when you go to use it, it's like a weird joystick. Not only do you not have like a very solid pad or grip to put your finger on, you also cover the airflow, which I think is intentional on their part. Like, some of these devices want you to like restrict and unrestrict the airflow, which isn't the best way to get a consistent hit, which is another thing they talk about is consistency on this. They were going for like flavor and consistency. This is not very consistent in my experience. And the carb cap, it's so goofy. I found that I was having to use 2 fingers to try to maneuver the carb cap without restricting the airflow. But when you just put 1 finger on there, you're basically like hitting stop and go on the airflow. You just feel yourself cutting off the airflow completely. Like, this is a terrible carb cap. It's made out of zirconia. You got a little silicone in there to help it move, but then they're also using a zirconia mouthpiece. This thing's got all kinds of little silicone flaps on it and O-rings. And the whole thing just wiggles. Like, the mouthpiece wiggles in place. This carb cap was popping off for me yesterday a bunch. I'd go to open it up, and then the carb cap would just pop off, and I'm like, dang. So when it kind of dries out, everything gets a little bit more snug, but I clean my stuff all the time when it's got a little bit of moisture on it. The stuff just wiggles and moves around. And the glass piece, you could just twist it all the way around on the base. Like, this is goofy. I feel like some of these devices are really sleek and some of them are really goofy. And this is like a fun combination of both because it's got like a sleek base to it. It's got a nice touchscreen. But then it's just like all janky and moving around when I'm hitting it. Now, there's a little bit of a learning curve to use the carb cap on here, but after you get that done, you're gonna realize that the glass on here, the bubbler it came with, they brag about it holding more water than any other E-Rig glass or whatever. But it sucks. It's awful. Let me just see if I can show you the little design here. Like, it's got a little corkscrew, a little spinny guy in there. Very weird to clean. The bubbles on it are like kind of pitiful. It's kind of pathetic. You're not getting good percolation with it. And I gotta say, out of all of the E-Rig glass that you can get, this is the hardest to clean. It's just goofy. You gotta run through the little loops in there. You gotta have your ISO twist down that little corkscrew. And then to get it in there is goofy. Look, hopefully you never have to experience cleaning this. Now, I do see on their site they have like another glass option for it. I don't even know if I'm interested in trying that because the chamber on it, they missed with that. It heats only from the bottom. This guy low-key reminds me of, has anybody ever seen the Rio, the Rig-in-1, where it's like a glass little box there and it has a torch built into the bottom and you can't really move the torch. You can just turn it on and it just blasts that little round bottom banger. Everybody's Rio that I've ever seen had the most chazzed banger on the planet, but I feel like the person who designed this was just like hitting the Rio every day and they're like, dang, this is the best rig ever. I gotta make an electronic version. Rio, not that good, and the electronic version is somehow worse. Now, you do get a very nice Davinci carrying case with this, that little metal emblem on there. Fun little case. It's nice, right? Who cares? Who cares? Right? If the rig's not good, I don't care if it has the nicest case in the world. I mean, probably after this video and after I do the rips for the Rumble video, this guy might just be sitting in the case for a while. I don't know. But it does offer some things that I haven't quite seen on too many devices yet. But this guy has a touchscreen on here. It does look cool. They got their little design on here. I mean, it looks sleek, right? It looks like a refrigerator. But here's what I don't like. Here's how I turned it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clicks to turn it on? Now, the touchscreen on it is pretty good. I think it's responsive for at least what I would expect on an E-Rig's touchscreen. Now, the temperature range on here is like 450 to 650. You can also adjust the time from 25 to 150 seconds, which brings me to my next point. I have talked with the company a little bit back and forth to try to get the most out of this device. And they said this device focuses on flavor, efficiency, consistency, portability, some other things. I feel like this device isn't that efficient. Like, I wasn't getting the best hits. I wasn't getting the most out of my hits. Like, when I can put the same size dab in 3, 4 different rigs, and one of them just gives me so much more vapor, that's more efficient. That's better. That's what I'm trying to get. That's the efficiency. People don't want to just taste their dabs. They want to get high from them. But I did talk with the company a little bit. They gave me a couple pieces of advice. They said load a smaller concentrate hit than I'm used to. Maybe pull a little bit longer and lighter. Although I have a nice long slow draw typically with a lot of the devices I use, especially when I'm testing them. And one thing that they said to me that I thought was very strange was they said, do not hit it when the indicator for you to hit it goes off. Like, it vibrates when it's ready. It's got that haptic feedback. But they said wait 15 to 30 seconds after it vibrates to hit it to get the best or the most out of the hit. They were trying to tell me to like let the heat saturate. But like, what's the indicator for then, bro? What's it indicating? All right, it vibrated. It's telling me I'm ready to wait 30 seconds to hit it. I still got to do like an internal countdown or look at the little screen on there and see it counting. That's very strange, right? Oh yeah, your device is ready to hit 15 to 30 seconds after it heats up, and it's going to take 15 to 30 seconds to heat up. What is the indicator indicating then? That I'm ready to wait? So I thought that was strange. I mean, that maybe is some good advice to get more out of it, but like, adjust when it vibrates for when it's ready then. If it's not ready when it's ready 30 seconds after it's ready. I don't know. That one's weird, bro. Now, one thing I think is a little strange is they say right here on the website, removable battery, and I saw that. I'm like, trying to figure out how to get the battery out. I'm like, do I really have to peel this rubber pad off the bottom? And then I was like, let me look in the manual in case it's some weird steps or whatever. It says right in the manual that it does not have a removable battery. That happens to me a lot, where the website says one thing and then the reality is another. Hey, fix your site. If that's wrong, maybe there's some other stuff on there that's wrong. I didn't read through everything. Now, the device does have some lights on it, which is cool. That little touchscreen on there, you can like change the background on. It is kind of cool at the end of the day. But it all comes down to the hits. And are the hits good? Is it really as efficient? Is it really as consistent as they say? While I wasn't getting like bad tasting hits, I was just getting underwhelming hits every time. Also, this device just hurt my throat more than any other device. When I test devices out, I try to use it as much as I can, like the first night or so or whatever. And like when I woke up after the first night of testing this, I had the harshest throat I've had in like years. And I'm like, dang, I didn't do anything different but try out a brand new concentrate device. But I feel like the device just does a bad job of delivering the heat in the right places. It only gives you heat in the bottom of the chamber, but you feel heat when you pull through it. You're not feeling the vapor because there's not a huge cloud in there. You get some vapor, but you feel the heat when you pull it. It's kind of not the best. I was trying to jack that temperature up to get a bigger cloud, but I'm just getting more heat when I pull because it doesn't do an efficient job vaping the whole glob I put in there. Not even a glob. I'm putting tiny little dabs in there. So at the end of the day, I don't know who this device is for. Even if they cut the price in half, I'd still skip it. If you want the most expensive concentrate device and you don't care about getting the most out of your hits or the biggest hits, maybe you want to look into this. But this probably isn't going very high on my tier list. Look, if you want to see the rips, go check out the Rumble video. And if you want to see the new devices I'm testing, come check out my live streams, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And if you have Amazon Prime, link your Prime to your Twitch. You can give me that Jeff Bezos weed money by subscribing to Twitch for free. Where my Prime genius is at. Have a lit day, my dudes.